Hello, chat room. It's me, and I'm back again. This time with more Warring Triad gameplay. Just as a heads-up reminder, this will probably be... well, I won't be streaming pretty much at all next week because I will be out of town. But I will be using that as opportunity to try and plan a little bit better about what stuff it is we're going to be doing next. Because once we finish the Warring Triad, I'm just kind of looking at my list here. Let's see. Probably up next would be MSQ, maybe? Just because most everything else is probably going to be taking a fairly long time, and I like to split these things up. And then after that MSQ cycle, then we will go and do Alliance raids, because I've been putting those off for kind of a while. But no longer! Anyway, let's switch over to the video game, shall we? Hi. So today I figured that we might as well start with knocking the extremes of Ravana and Bismarck out of the way. So we're going to start with those, and then we will continue the quest line. Otaku has kindly volunteered to help unsync us through those EXs. So let's go ahead and go back to Mordona. Here we go. Almost forgot to turn on the correct sound setting that I have. The sound setting specifically for MSQ. Alright. Hello, Unakalhai. So, we have the Diabolical Bismarck. I guess we'll start with that one. Unakalhai would have you face the Lord of the Mists once more. If we are to prevent the awakening of the Warring Triad, then Bismarck must be cast down once more. I am aware of the rather unorthodox method you employed to lure out and slay the White Whale before, and had a mind to follow established precedent. That said, islands are not easy to come by. Here you go, here's an island. I should hope it is not necessary, but you may as well show this gemstone to Chief Sonu. He will know it as the weeping eye of the Monarch Manai, and it will ensure that he is completely committed to our cause. Oh, and before you asked, I have already informed Master Garland of our plans. He's currently en route to the Blue Window. So this is the last time that they have an EX quest be... oh my god, the Beast Tribe has resummoned the Primal, and you must go fight them in the exact same situation as before. Because probably they realized with the Bismarck situation, they were like, this is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Let's just have the Minstrel do everything. And that was a good choice on their part. The Tramontane returns, and with it the White. So too comes the great Netherling warrior. The Weeping Eye of the Monarch Manai. The round gemstone, a gemstone in the image that is clearly not round, heavily aspected to both water and wind, is believed by the Zundu tribe to be one of the eyes of Monarch Manai, a great beast of Vanu legend. Like double rainbows in the mist, Sonu knows not what to make of this. An eye in the hands of a Netherling! Storm clouds of the Vundu are no match for the eye's might. Smash it against the Aetheryte and the whale's crown, and he will be vulnerable once more. Bind him with chains of steel and drive him from Cloud Sea. Return zephyr winds and sunlight to our lands. As sun rises and falls and returns, she who bears an eye cannot be denied. Oh, and Sid's here too, I guess. Not from that angle. It's true. It's kind of like the Chaos Emeralds being viewed from above. In, I don't know, Sonic 1 or whatever. Or maybe they were just shaped that way before they became Super Emeralds. Oh, and there's the airship flashing into being. There you are, dude. The Enterprise Excelsior is ready to depart whenever you are. I gotta do a thing first. Say again? Chief Sonu wants you to smash some gemstone against an aetheryte to dispel a barrier of storm clouds? I don't even know where to begin. Bah, hell's with it. Maybe it'll bring us good luck. I'll rendezvous with you there. You know, we could just lie and say you did it. What? Fine, we'll do it the hard way. No offense, Sid, as somebody that we previously went to dispel a barrier of storm clouds, I don't think you have any fucking business talking shit like that, my man. Alright, now. Let's all use our powers to guarantee that I just randomly get the mount drop from both this Bismarck and this Ravana clear. That'd be some crazy bullshit. But it would be very funny. There's the aetheryte. That's not what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to hit the eye. Come on. After a pause, you smash the gemstone against the aetheryte. Nothing much happens. Out of habit, you attune with the aetheryte, and once more, nothing much happens. And Limitless Blue Extreme now available. Alright. Limitless Blue Extreme! As is all too often the case, a Primal Ufeld has once again been summoned. According to Unakalhai, the stakes are even higher this time, as Bismarck's reappearance threatens to hasten the awakening of the Warring Triad, 3 icons sealed within the Aetherochemical Research Facility on Azizla. Fortunately, you have developed a sound method for slaying flying feathered whales. The Enterprise Excelsior and your island awaits. Put on Unrestricted Party, and I'll just press this button just in case. Yippee! Let's do it. Welcome Bismarck to back. Wait. That's not right. Now this, folks, is an interesting extreme because it's harder to do solo, even with item level, because you kind of need multiple people to do the Dragon Killer stuff. And also during the ad phase, the 2 ads that spawn kind of need to be separated. Let's begin. Get ready, everyone, here it comes. Watch out! Ugh. Yep. Use the field generator. If the island goes, so do you. I hope that lasts. I don't remember how long that lasts for. Seems like it did. Cool. Dragon Killers! Yippee! Clang, clang. Fuck you, whale. Oh, okay, we got it. Cool. What in the 7 hells was that? On your guard! I'm gonna keep this one busy while you kill that one. Okay, now you can kill this one. Yup. It sure is Bismarck. Uh-huh. Alright, oh, there you are, buddy. Wow. I'm detecting a huge increase in... Oh, gods, brace yourselves! I haven't even been using enough mana to fucking justify using Sacreds or using Aetherflow. I think your wings are gonna wear off before the damage comes out. This is the slowest fucking shit in the universe, man. Damn, that didn't do shit. Damn it, we've lost the generator. Ow. Vapor bubbles. Ouch. I genuinely don't remember what you're supposed to do for that mechanic. It might be, you actually leave the bubbles alive so the water will take the hit. I don't remember. Dragon Killer! Now kill him instantly. I can't believe I fell for the same shit twice. It's okay, buddy. It happens to the best of us. Fuck! We did get the Expanse Grimoire, though. That's neat. I don't care about any of that stuff. Alright. We did it! And now back we go to Mordona. I should really put on the reduced teleport cost things, because there's going to be a lot of teleporting going on here. There we go. All right. Oh wait, shit! I gotta go talk to fucking Sonu Vanu. God damn it! I'm an idiot. I'm a fool. Why would I think that would be easy? How silly of me. Alright, have fun with your chicken. I did it. As storm clouds give way to sunlight, so hope returns to Zundu, and clarity of vision to Sonu. Sonu sees Netherlings for who she truly is. Netherling is bearer foretold. Once, long ago, in the midst of a great battle with tribe from the Nethers, a horrid, wicked demon comes to feast on the bodies of the fallen. Manuk Manai, we name him. Manuk Manai, we decry him. For generations he hunts the Vanu Vanu, but this day we say no more. Greatest of our heroes climb atop the beast's back with blades black as midnight. She rips his eyes from his head and casts them into Cloud Sea. In hour of great need, eyes return to Vanu. Look to their bearer for salvation. So she declares, so it comes to pass. And now Netherling's deeds we remember forevermore. May zephyr winds ever be at your back, and sunshine ever warm your brow, O chosen of Manuk Manai. Interesting. That's one of those things that I feel like they maybe should have expanded on a little bit more. Oh well. Hey man, where did you get that, by the way? Just out of curiosity. You needn't say a word. The aetheric reading has left no doubt. The Lord of the Mists is no more. For the time being, at least. After all, such beings have a rather troublesome tendency to return. Let us turn our attention to the Lord of the Hive, who in quiet meditation awaits your coming. And Thok around the clock. Unukalhai would have you face the Lord of the Hive once more. Also, by the way, if you choose to start this quest before you do, or sorry, if you choose to start the Bismarck quest after having done the Ravana quest, you get slightly different dialogue there, which is neat. Within Thok asked As you prepare yourself for battle, so too does Ravana. Within Thok as Thok, he builds his strength, feeding upon the prayers of his innumerable children. God damn it. But those same children will not suffer you to live should you surrender yourself to them a second time. Nay, you must devise a new way of approaching the Lord of the Hive's domain. Consult with the storyteller, the Elder of the Vath, and he will aid in this endeavor. I guess Unukalhai is just straight up not going to tell us where he got that fucking eye. Or this one. Take this bauble. 'Tis known amongst the Nath as the Burning Eye of Ravana. When the time comes, you will know what to do. Oh, nope, not that. The Lord of the Hive crouches within Thok as Thok, sharpening his blades in anticipation of coming conflict. I ask that you grant him the violence he craves. His children, however, will not be deceived a second time. Speak with the storyteller of the Vath and devise a new approach. Sure. Tailfeather. Oh, excuse me. Oh, my back. All right, Mr. Man. Hello. Ah, our hunter friend, welcome. You come hunting gods once more? The non-mind is glad of your thirst for divine blood. Ever more rapacious do the on-mind grow as they seek offerings to glut our deity's insatiable appetite. I have this eye. I have it, I can put it into the end portal in order to open a path to the end and fight the Ender Dragon. Another path to our god's domain. Yes, there is but one way. You must seek out the Gain Hive on the far side of the colony and attune your spirit to the aetherite ensconced within. But the deed is not possible. We hear that the crystal is warded by ancient ritual magics. The One Mind have woven the seal such that only the most worthy of warriors shall be granted leave to enter Thok as Thok, and they do not share with the non-mind what they consider worthy. The path into Thok as Thok is closed to all but the most worthy of warriors. You are strong, hunter, but we would be sad should you slaughter your way into the Giant Hive only to be trapped inside with a warded aetherite. Also, in case we don't do anything with it, the Burning Eye of Ravana is a round gemstone, heavily aspected to both earth and fire, is believed by the Nath to be an eye Ravana lost thousands of years ago at the hands of a rival tribe's hero. Alright, off to the Gain Hivecologist. In we go! Whee! Excuse me, folks. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me, folks. Whoop. Attune! After a pause, you smash the gemstone against the aetheryte. Nothing much happens. Out of a habit, you attune with the aetheryte, and once more, nothing much happens. Cool! I like that the eye wasn't even fucking mentioned at all. That's really cool. I like that a lot. It's not true. I actually really hate it. Thok Extreme, willed back into existence by his zealous children, Ravana, the Lord of the Hive, is risen again with ever greater savagery. Left unchecked, the wrath of the colony will surely seek out the warring triad on Azizla to feed upon the sleeping icon's strength. Heed Unukalhai's warning and slay the entity before his insatiable appetite, for power, unleashes destruction of cataclysmic proportions. The Thought of Thoughts. Don't call him that. He's named after a Bionicle character. We're gonna watch this because he's so fucking cool. Why they let him be this cool, man? Nobody else does it like him. Also, this is technically the third time. Or this would have been the second time if we hadn't done the main story first. The second time that Ravana has been summoned. Got a good blue mage spell you can get from him, too. Yeah. That's something I should probably work on. To the song of ringing steel. Okay. He's just that popular. He deserves it. Furious as a blaze! Big swords. I do think it's so... bested me. Hive mind. Okay, yeah, there you go. See, isn't that crazy how much faster that is than Bismarck, by the way? Because Bismarck is just like a badly made fight. Thus does the sacred rite of combat proclaim the victor. I lay my blades at thy feet, child of man. Oh, sweet, I get 4 new swords? I hope they don't disappear along with his corpse. Ah, son of a bitch. This sucks. Hey, we actually got the bird. That's crazy. Give me that thing. Cool. Well, okay. Anyway. The Rose Lantern Whistle. This whistle emits a shrill tone that is said to summon a legendary Falcon of Fury. And where it is? There it is. Rose Lantern. The ferocity of these birds is enough to give pause to the bravest warrior, and their keen talons cut through flesh as cleanly as the Chandrahas themselves. Any endeavor to mount the Rose Lantern must possess of the savagery that defines the wrath of the colony. Master of the Sacred Blades, Wrath of the Colony, Conqueror of the World, hear our prayer, says the Nath Priest. And there we go. And now we go back to the storyteller. Also, I keep forgetting to tell this story, but recently I was doing some... I was helping a friend level a class on Oroptimus, and we got into a dungeon run where the tank was playing... To call it poorly, I guess, would be charitable. They were playing as if they were like a bot. Like, it was odd. Like, they were single pulling packs, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but they were single targeting the whole time. They were like, whenever they needed to like turn towards something, they had to like slowly rotate their character and then do it. And then midway through, they just go BRB. And they stand up, and they do something, and they come back, and they say, sorry, was really thirsty, had to get a glass of water. And from then on, completely normal. They just play perfectly fine, totally normal. So I can only imagine that they literally had been depriving themselves of water for so long that it compromised their ability to do anything. And as soon as they drank water, it was like that fucking scene from, well, I think it's Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, where it's like, I can see! I can fight! So you just drink, there you go. So drink water, kids. It'll make you tank better, I guess. I like to share that story as the story of the thirsty tank, because it makes people think of something that is not correct. Once more, you have slain our ravening god. Your tribe must think you a great hunter indeed. Even the One Mind must begin to appreciate the folly of their wasteful summonings. But tell me, us great hunter, how were you able to pass the seal? Did it simply melt away at the approach of your indomitable presence? I had a rock. A gemstone of fire and earth. There is something. A memory we have from the Overmind before we were cast out. A memory of the burning eye of Ravana. The Overmind has recollections of legends 100 generations old. We remember the tale of our god as he once was, an all-devouring beast whose eye was torn from him by an invading tribe. The Nath have sought to recover this lost relic for centuries, that it might be rejoined with Ravana reborn. But even if it were found, it is said that only the most worthy of warriors can bear its searing touch. I now understand why the seal granted your passage. But tell us, great hunter, how came you by this eye? Weird kid gave it to me. A youngling named Anukalai. Your deed has returned many memories to the surface of our mind, but that name is not among them. To gift you with such a prize, he too must have thought you worthy. We thank you, great hunter. Too soon do our memories from the Overmind fade, but you have given us a new story to tell. Your deeds are become legend among the Vath, great hunter. We will tell your story for generations to come. Okay. Alright, Anukalai. Tell me about where you got this fucking thing from, dude. I'm not joking. Where did you fucking get this from? Where? Answer me! And thus is the Lord of the Hive's essence returned unto the land. And thus has the essence of Ravana joined that of the Lord of the Mists in its return unto the land. I think you maybe could have... You said that kind of twice there, buddy. You have my gratitude, Warrior of Light. Without your valiant efforts, these primal terrors would have invited devastation on a cataclysmic scale. For unlike others of their ilk, Bismarck and Ravana both harbor the desire and the power to reach Azizla. It is with dreadful certainty that I sense their intent to feed on the strength of the warring triad, and thereby amplify their own power by an order of magnitude. By what wisdom do I claim such certainty? I am gifted with... how shall I put this? An intimate knowledge of the primal mind. You are curious, I'm sure, but you need not understand the nature of power to use it, do you? It is much the same with the Echo, I imagine. Ah, the realm of Eorzea. Ever has it been a land embraced by gods. For weal or woe, I should wonder. For the time being, I shall remain here in the Rising Stones and assist Urianger with his research into the icons. If you should require aught further of me, simply ask. Okay, so he's not going to tell us where he got those fucking eyes from, huh? Great. War still wageth on. Chapter 2, A Persistent Foe. We haven't read this yet. The Garlean Empire's 6th Legion has breached the core laboratories of Azizlah's research facility. Seeking to prevent the Imperials from extracting the Genesis expression, the Warrior of Light and her allies pursued the Legatus and his soldiers, and succeeded in denying him the vital formula. The Garleans claim their interest in primal harnessing technology comes from a desire to constrain the entity's wanton destruction. But while this purpose seems perfectly noble, such control would place the power of gods in the hands of a select group of men. Who, then, might oppose the Emperor should he wish to sunder the world? And what guarantee prevents error and happenstance from setting the primals free? Ever would the threat of their accidental awakening loom above our heads. By harnessing a primal, one is also condensing and concentrating its vast energies. Upon the being's released, its long-suppressed power and simmering rancor explodes with unimaginable violence. With their potency increased far beyond that of typical beastman-summoned deity, the defeat of harnessed entities becomes exponentially more arduous. Such might can only be overcome with more might. But ultimately, the battle has no victor. When powers of this magnitude collide, they consume immense reservoirs of ether. The star will be drained of life before the clash can be decided, and all will crumble into oblivion. Anyway, balance unto all. Unukalhai has urgent news to share on the current state of the Warring Triad. Warrior of Light, if this world is to survive, we must needs move forwards with our plan. Another pillar of the Warring Triad must be toppled. Question of which has already been answered. Following our encounter with Legatus, Archon Y'shtola detected erratic aetheric waveforms emanating from the sector containing the icon Sophia, known simply as the Goddess in former times. Such readings can only mean one thing. She is close to awakening. Let us return to Azizla forthwith, and put an end to this primal deity, lest she rise again in all her terrible glory. Oh, I can't small talk. Okay. Actually, hold on. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm just not going to read this. And I'm going to deny the quest, or I'm going to do the small talk with him, and then... There we go. Balance unto all. Make your preparations, Warrior of Light. The icon Sophia stirs, and we must needs return to Azizla with all haste. Yeah, I'll just abandon that and then read it again later. Alright, off we go to Azizla then. I'm also gonna just untake us out of restricted party. Azizla. God, it's so fucking loud here. Queue into the Triad like normal, we still unsync. We'll probably queue in like normal, just because I kind of want to see and experience that stuff as normal. Because there's plenty of dialogue in the actual fights that I would like to read, and if we unsync it, then we probably won't get to see too much of that. If that's okay with you. You're free to join us or drop out. Otaku, thank you again for helping me with that. I'm glad we were able to get that out of the way, and from now on, we should not need to actually clear any extremes in order to unlock them, which means that will just become optional from now on. So, we appear to be the first to arrive. Shall we await our colleagues here? You want to eat chicken? Yeah, please, by all means. Whoop! Something's happening. Could the 6th Legion have returned? Ruja, Unukalhai! We're under attack! Y'shtola and Urianger have engaged the foe not far from here. Whoa.
Ha! Rarely is my shield thus tested. 'Twould seem the Alligans have not been lax in their recruitment.
Think you so? Mayhap your arm merely withered while you lay idle.
Still your tongues. We have stalled them long enough.
With scales in hand, the goddess shall arise and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she, the wrathful Worm King at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Hear my words and despair, Elegans. Our goddess is awoken. Your civilization has birthed the instruments of its own undoing. Bye-bye.
Cool, man. "'Tis well that you are here, Ruja. I should like to know what our assailants were saying. You understood their words, did you not?" Oh, they were speaking a different language. "'Twas a Mericidian dialect, if mine ears do not deceive, though one which beareth scant resemblance to any spoken in recent times. As for our antagonists' meaning, I do gladly defer to those blessed with the echo." "The one with the shield seemed to think we were elegants. He recited what sounded like a verse of prophecy, then claimed that their goddess is awoken. Is that about right, Ruja?" "Yes, there was also a mention of a worm king. Is that important? Should we worry about that?" "And might we assume this deity of theirs is the very icon we've come to topple?" "Aye, from their tongue, their words and their attire, 'tis like that our antagonists were Mericidian, thralls to the goddess Sophia and victim of the Allegan's incursions. If, as Cryo claimeth, they thought us agents of Alag, 'tis little wonder they sought to bring us low." "You suggest that Sophia's servants have been liberated from their containment? Then we have no choice but to accept word of her awakening as truth." "Gods help us. The Warring Triad have proven formidable enough, and we've roused them with a fraction of their true strength. Should Sophia break free at the peak of her powers, Ruja and her friends won't stand a chance." "Let us be about it then, Ruja. Trial, Unakalhai, the three of you will make directly for Sophia's containment facility. Ariadne and I will do what we can to occupy the Icon's thralls." Okay. "Mistress Kryl, do you perchance recall the words of prophecy in its entirety?" Let me see. I believe it was, "With scales in hand the goddess shall arise and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she, with wrathful worm king at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all." Not particularly good, flow to that, I feel like. Okay. Any particular reason we wanted to bring that one up, Udakalhai, or... No, we're just gonna... Alright, okay, if you say so. Alright. Containment Bay, P1T6. History tells of a Mericidian nation comprised of a multitude of races, the foundations of which were built on the worship of a single deity. The goddess, as she was simply known, graced the souls of her worshippers with perfect equilibrium, binding their disparate societies in gilded chains of harmony. In the present day, she is better known as Sophia, one of the incalculably powerful icons of the Warring Triad. After 5,000 years of imprisonment, her failed plans for vengeance once more threatened to come to fruition. Defeat the wakened thralls and slay the stirring goddess, lest her divine balance bring all the world to equal ruin. Otaku, were you going to join me for this one, or are you still eating your chicken? I'll just put myself in. Probably eating. It's fine. Hang on, I'm standing up. Hopefully my queue doesn't pop while I'm gone. I'll be right back. I'm back, and with my Encyclopedia Eorzea, just in time for my fucking cue to pop, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. There we go.
I leave the goddess in your capable hands. Just watch out for her worshippers.
Oh, damn. She kind of a baddie, though. And she summoned Head. I like Sophia's design not just because I'm attracted to women, but also because I think it looks like a statue.
The unenlightened come. Ha!
Ha! Thunder 3! Okay, that guy just didn't really feel like moving, I guess. That's cool. Why do you keep making that noise, lady?
Know you the full weight of death.
Oh, okay. Wait, what the fuck? How did I get a vulnerability? I wasn't paying attention. Whatever.
To me, my faithful.
Oh, the Demiurge. Hi. Also, we're doomed. Oh, right, I forgot about the frostbite. Okay, cool, we got him.
Come forth, scales of revelation. I would know the weight of your souls.
Ouch!
Can you bring equilibrium?
Oh, fuck, I stepped in the fucking frostbite again. God damn it.
I shall tip back the balance.
And there I go to the frostbite again. And there goes that guy. I really wish we had placed that frostbite in a slightly different place. Oh, good, he walked back into it again. That's cool.
Sin must be balanced with suffering.
It's nice that most of this stuff is voiced, though. That's good. Oh, okay. Dog, I really wish you would fucking move out of that.
Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
I'm gonna get out of the way of that.
Ha!
think that's the AoE again, right? Yeah. Dude, come on. Somebody who's beaten Endwalker doing that, by the way. Okay. Yay! That went fine. Bye, lady. Oh shit, he left before I could say goodbye. Damn it! And I didn't get any fucking player comms. This game sucks! I'm kidding, it's okay. I'm not in this for comms. Only kind of. Just validation, really. I see the goddess is no more. Well done. Once Kryal and Unakalhai have rejoined us, we may safely depart. One thing yet puzzles me, however. How did Sophia's servants come to wake from their slumber? I believe we have the answer to that. We discovered the remains of a Garlean soldier in an adjacent sector of the containment facility. 'Tis like that the fool ventured too close to Sophia during the Empire's previous incursion and was enthralled for his troubles. Another reminder, if any were needed, as to the incalculable threat posed by these beings. The goddess would not even have been conscious when she claimed the man's will, and yet his mistake granted her the means to release her servants, who would have resulted in her own liberation had we not been on hand to intervene. I do much wondereth that the Icon's pawn was capable of so effectively manipulating the facility's containment systems. How came he by such rarefied knowledge? That, too, is easily explained. During our investigation, Kryal discovered a subtle flaw in one of the mechanisms which held the goddess in check, a flaw which had plainly been added intentionally. Upon examining the facility's records of the period, we were able to piece together the story. It was a time towards the end of the Third Astral Era, when the peoples of Mericidia faced extinction at the hand of the Allagan Empire. Sophia, a being of incomparable cunning, was said to have communicated certain plans to her servants through the medium of a trusted oracle. Following the oracle's instructions, they duly conspired with a rebel faction from Alag, who, we believe, agreed to tamper with the prison intended for Sophia. And then, the goddess and her thralls chanced to be captured, though we suspect that this had always been their plan. Indeed, the prison was situated at the heart of Alag, and we think they may have intended to attack the city from within. They would merely have had to wait for the rebels to exploit the weakness in their confines. But the conspirators' dealings with the Mericidians were exposed before they could enact their plot, and all were summarily executed. Seems that the flaw itself remained undiscovered, however, and might have remained so until the end of days had it not been for the actions of the Archbishop and subsequently the Garleans. I cannot help but wonder what might have come to pass had their scheme been successful. Mayhap the answer lies in the prophecy. Kryal hath the right of it. Its words may be deciphered thus. The cursed Paul speaketh of Prosophia's prison, from which she was supposed to emerge at the agreed hour. The Worm King, meanwhile, can be none other than great Bahamut himself, then yet a prisoner, whom the goddess did intend to unleash upon Alag to set right the scales of justice, which she would know about because Mericidia is where the dragons hung out until the Allagans kind of beat them all down, killed Bahamut, and then the dragons summoned Bahamut in Mericidia as a primal, in which he was imprisoned and put into Dalamut. A foolhardy plan. Had it come to fruition, the two of them would surely have razed the realm. Naught would have been spared the devastation, and the Mericidians' homeland included. Their home already stood on the brink of oblivion. Mayhap they wished for naught else but to purge the poison of Alag with primal fire. The tale teaches us that even the greatest of man's creations may yet be brought low with a single act of treachery. The Allagans were fools to place their trust in technological bondage. Sorry, that's just a funny sentence. To shackle such beings is but to delay the inevitable. Not save their total destruction shall free us from their menace. Let us return now to the Rising Stones and could there consider the final step of this most needful task. The threat posed by this facility is greater than you imagine, Urianger, and one not limited to the Icons themselves. Sophia's remaining servants must be put down. Bleep bloop. Warning. Deactivating stasis chamber support systems will result in subject termination. Enter identification code to continue. Identification code accepted. Subjects terminated. I interrupt the stream to inform you 4 deer in your front yard. Kill them all. Let not a single one of them live. They all must die. This way. Hey, bud. Is Artemis, Warrior of Light? Archon Nishtola mentioned there was a matter she wished to discuss. I don't know, she didn't fucking tell me anything. Well met, Ruja. You will forgive me if I seem curt, but I would settle an account with our young friend. While conducting a final sweep of Sophia's containment facility, we discovered that all of her remaining thralls had perished in their stasis chambers. This was your doing? Aye, it was. Chose to act upon the knowledge revealed within the tombstone we recovered. The true purpose of those prisons is far more horrifying than we first assumed. The Alligans were not simply observing the Icons and siphoning away their energies. They were conducting experiments and preparations for a far more ambitious project. If you'll recall, both the Fiend and the Goddess were imprisoned within massive spherical structures. These spheres were the prototypes which paved the way for the successful construction of an artificial celestial body. You speak of Dalamud. Aye, the Icon's cages are unmistakably of the same design as the Red Moon. To be plain, the research facility contains the seeds of 3 calamities which might feasibly be visited upon a chosen target. Eliminating one of them necessitated the destruction of the goddess's slumbering thralls. Jesus, that was a rough couple of words. A distasteful task unbefitting of one such as the Warrior of Light. Thus did I resolve to perform the deed myself. You have made your case, and 'tis apparent we were not in full possession of the facts. Nevertheless, your notion of what may or may not be expected of Ruja is presumptuous in the extreme. Ruja would be perfectly happy to murder thousands of people sleeping in cells. When the Warrior of Light chose to join the Scions, she did so in the knowledge that she would be required to face and destroy not only the Primals, but also their fanatical servants. That which you term a distasteful task is an essential part of our calling, a burden to which every Scion is sworn to shoulder. It's true I have killed, and I will again. I see. 'Twould seem I misjudged the depth of your resolve. No matter. Assuming I have made myself understood, we will need not speak of it again. There is, however, one other subject which merits discussion. You determined that Sophia's thralls were awoken by a Garlean soldier who had somehow gained access to the containment area, did you not? If that is the case, it seems highly doubtful that the interloper wandered into such a dangerous part of the facility by chance. Dissidents within the Empire contain that the Sixth Legion is rife with agents under orders to thwart the Legatus' mission by any means necessary. Lest you imagine that we have allies in Garlemald, I should clarify that their motive is wholly uncharitable. Regula Van Hydrus rose to the top of Garlean military on merit alone, and is fiercely loyal to the Emperor for recognizing his efforts. His compeers, by contrast, rose through favor of the established order, and would accordingly do anything to see him fail. That they would be so reckless. You truly believe that the actions of these agents contributed to the recent crisis? Aye, and they pose no less a risk to the realm than those loyal to the Emperor. Plainly, we must needs continue to do all in our power to prevent the technologies of Alag from falling into the hands of man. On that point, at least, we have ever been in complete agreement. Cool. And finally, the last pillar to fall. Unukauhai has a request regarding the final icon of the Warring Triad. Greetings, Warrior of Light. But one pillar of the Warring Triad remains, Zervan, the icon known as the Demon. Okay, we've kind of already had a demon, though, except he was called the Fiend. Is that different? Is that noticeably different? I feel like it's not. According to the histories I have uncovered, this monstrous being was worshipped by a race of Mericidian beastmen. These creatures are the key to maintaining Zervan's manifestation, and we can be sure that many such thralls will be imprisoned somewhere within the research facility. It is imperative that we determine their exact location as swiftly as possible. We dare not risk repeating the near disaster we suffered at the hands of Sophia's servants. As such, your fellow scions have already begun an exhaustive search, but there are several sectors which only you, Kryl, and I can enter without fear of enthrallment. Let us make our way to Azizla forthwith and aid the investigations. Zervan's thralls must be accounted for ere we face the icon himself. Azizla awaits. Let's also read Sophia. The goddess has fallen, and only one pillar of the Warring Triad remains. According to the records we discovered upon Sophia's destruction, the icon had once schemed to bring the Allagan Empire to ruin from within. The histories also spoke of her followers and how they perceived the ever-expanding Imperials as anathema to the world's balance. Equilibrium is Sophia's domain. Her worshippers saw the righting of the scales as their sacred duty, and thus did they resist the Allagans' invasion with holy fervor. Never mind that the summoning of an icon did upset their precious balance all the more. The concept of balance is, however, of great interest to my master. A world must have both light and darkness, and a sudden surge of either will endanger its very existence. Upon our first meeting, my master spoke thus: I am not the light's servant, but for the present I must serve. One cannot arbitrate equilibrium if one is not fluid of stance. The tenets of our justice are found not in light nor darkness, nor the gray shades in between. We but seek to enforce that which prevents the visitation of oblivion, to moderate the endless waves of war such that neither side claims victory. That is our charge. Okay. Oop. I grabbed my copy of Encyclopedia... I grabbed my copy of Encyclopedia Eorzea because I was like, surely there must be some more mention, like, of what... of, like, the history behind the specific members of the Warring Triad. No. They each get, like, a paragraph at most. And there's literally no more information about them. Very cool. Love that for me. Thanks, Encyclopedia Eorzea, for giving me information about shit that I do not care about, and no information on shit that I do care about. Ruja, it is good we caught you. The facility has been swarmed by Imperial troops. By their standards did we judge them soldiers of the 6th. Aye, once more doth Regula Van Hydra stretch forth his hand to seize the forbidden fruits of Alag, and once more have our meticulous wards been swept aside like so many cobwebs. Your meddlesome wards were destroyed from within by the pulsating energies of an icon. Hey, big man! What's up, dude? Nay, put up your weapons and listen. The followers of Zervan have awakened, and they toil to rouse their master. The demon's worshippers yet slumbered when we confronted Sophia. Could the tampering of her thralls been more widespread than we thought? They shared a common enemy. 'Tis not unthinkable that they would seek to free all those the Alligans had imprisoned. Yes, the cage doors are open, and whilst you stand here quibbling over who picked the locks, my soldiers are inside the facility risking their lives and their sanity. They have volunteered to face death to prevent Zervan's servants from waking him in the fullness of his power. Now, assuming you have at last understood the gravity of the situation, it is time that I rejoined them. But you cannot hope to succeed. The Icon will enslave the minds of any who draw near. Thus did I seek out those with the power to resist his influence. Aid us, and mayhaps my men will not perish in vain. You propose an alliance. I have delved into the depths of this place and found its technology wanting. These mechanisms have failed to hold their prisoners, and such broken artifacts are unfit to bring before the Emperor. Twice have you bested me in combat. Will you now lend me that strength and stand against our mutual foe? 'Twas in opposing your reckless schemes that Izael was lost to us. You expect us to simply forgive and forget all that has come before. Only mention of her so far. I expect you to put aside your emotions and use your better judgment. But of course, I am dealing with savages. I will not stand here and justify the death of the Ice Maiden. We pursued our ideals and you pursued yours. Such was the result. And mayhap you might consider another point. In those endless clashes, we have all lost comrades dear to us. Yet I choose to put aside past grievances to beg your champion's aid, to appeal to reason, to your reason. Thou art willing to build a bridge of common purpose upon such tremulous foundations. I too am hesitant to accept this arrangement, Archon Y'shtola, but the offer has been made to the Warrior of Light, and it is her involvement which shall ultimately sway its outcome. I shall abide by Rouge's decision. Zervan must be stopped. I cannot fight alongside the Empire. ... I mean, Zervan has to be stopped. We gotta get Zervan. Then for better or worse, we shall fight at your side. Mistress Kryl and I are also resistant to primal influences. We shall aid you where we can. Then let us be on our way. This is what I mean when I say that Van Hydrus is the realest motherfucker there's ever been. Blue-collar Garlean guy got here on pure fucking skill alone. Honor guard of the Emperor himself. On merit alone. Only Imperial to come up to you and say, hey man, we need to kill the primals. The shit in here, even though I was sent in here to get the technology, clearly it doesn't work because the things are breaking out, so there's no point in me going after it now. All we can do is kill these things. I am knowingly sending my men to death because I know that there is nothing they can do to stop this, so I am going to the only person who can, my country's biggest enemy. And I am asking, give me your help. And, not only that, also one of the first people to actively bring up, hey, I'm a Garlean. You have killed a lot of Garleans in getting to this point. I understand that you lost a friend to us. You've lost friends to us. We have also lost people. Not that, obviously, that doesn't excuse anything that either of us have done, but it's just like, hey, we are people. We are going through the same thing that you are. Realest motherfucker there's ever been. Our companions have already passed through to the research facility. We should not lag behind. There's Zervin, and there are his followers. The demon stirs. Like a suckling babe, he feedeth upon the ether siphoned unto him by his thralls. We must needs deprive him of the sustenance. Please don't use that metaphor again. Then we destroy those devices. Hold! Witness your soldiers! They have turned one against the other. Even half awake, Zervin corrupts and converts all those who enter his aura. The three of us then, Ruja, Unakalhai, we rush in together and each disable a generator. We cannot give them a chance to rally a defense. There are 4 mechanisms by my count. If I can avoid the Icon's miasma, my blade will make short work of the last one. We, all of us, have pledged our lives to... Keep your lives. I would rather you tend to my fallen. Some may yet survive with their minds intact. I know not if my strength will be enough. I am no champion. The battlefield is no place for uncertainty, boy. Fate has blessed you with a unique talent and an occasion to use it. Do not waste such a gift. We strike! Cool. Why did they fucking explode? How did he do that? Oh wait, was it? I think it must have been the thing that he hit. He cut through them so hard it destroyed the thing behind it. Gods, Zervin is... Come on, man. Unukalhai! Good shit. He's so fucking cool. Oh, that's bad. Oh! He slumbers once more. You saved me. Why? I told you, boy. Yours is a gift too precious to waste. Gift the Emperor may one day have need of in his war upon these untamable icons. Emperor Varus, he raised me up from the ranks, stood against my detractors. I gladly give my life in his service. You must finish this. Slay these leeches upon our star. Kill them all. Kill Zervin. We must needs withdraw and prepare our assault. At the cost of his very life, the Legatus has prized us open a window for us. Has prized open for us a window of opportunity. And there he goes. somehow, despite him being with us for arguably less time than either Livia, Riditin, Nero, technically, or even Gaius, arguably, I would say he's still far more interesting of a character than any of them combined. And he's just gone like that. And that's why he is never again mentioned in the main story, because they fucking kill him off in a side story. Isn't that incredible? I love Van Hydra so much. They do him so fucking dirty. Like, God, dude. And, you know, it would have been fun, too, if instead of that just being a cutscene, what if that was a duty? You know? Like, we had a duty fighting Van Hydrus again, where he summoned the giant fucking cerulean tiger, which was crazy, by the way, that we didn't talk about that. He just summoned a fucking tiger made out of gasoline, essentially, and used it to kill us. That's crazy! Why can't we talk more about him? And then, to add insult to injury, this is talking a little bit about something that's going to happen in Shadowbringers, so a long ways away. They do him this dirty again. In passing. It's so fucked up. Whatever. These wounded soldiers will live, but further battle is beyond them. I have counseled them to remain here until their compatriots arrive to bear them home. 'Tis not often that I dare approach so closely to entities such as Zervan. How sharply am I reminded of the burden we place upon those whom are blessed with the Echo. I thought Regula a cold and ruthless man, but he showed pride and compassion for his soldiers. It also seems he placed great trust in his Emperor. If Regula could be convinced that the technology for containing primals is fatally flawed, then mayhap Varys can be convinced as well. The research facility crawls with Zervan's faithful, and they will not cease in their efforts to rouse him. If you would honor the Legatus' sacrifice, then you must slaughter those fiends to the last. Forgive me if I show little gratitude for my rescue. It is said that the Emperor and Van Hydrus were childhood friends. Foul fortune that we should be the ones to bring news of his death. Hey, man. Grow up. Stop being sad, or whatever. We gotta kill someone. He's dead. Had I only been stronger. You're like 6, dude. Chill. Enough of that. There'll be time for regrets after we've rid the world of Zervan. Kryl has the right of it. The demon has fallen back into torpor for now. We must act swiftly if Regula's death is to have meaning. The survivors speak of an army of thralls loose in the facility. We must assume that these followers continue their efforts to awaken the Icon. Excuse me. Let us then concentrate upon diverting them for their last task. Mistress Kryl and Master Unakalhai, prithee secure the controls to Zervan's shackles and limit the restoration of his might. Archon Nishola and I shall forge ahead and strike down those thralls as would seek to harry you. Warrior of Light, thine is, as ever, the most perilous duty. Gather to thee thy trusted companions and extinguish from this realm the fires of the demon himself. Containment Bay Z1 T9. The last pillar of the Warring Triad is set to fall. Let's see this to the end, Ruja. The Legatus spoke truly. The thick of battle is no place to question oneself, and I will accept any forthcoming duty with no certitude, or not at all. Oh wait. We will bear the Legatus' remains back to Garlemald. His favored blade was shattered, but may your own weapon claim vengeance in his stead. When I volunteered for this mission, it was in the knowledge that my death would serve a greater purpose. We fell too quickly. Too quickly. Only one pillar of the Warring Triad remains. Zervan, the demon. Worshipped by a Mericidian race of centaur-like beings, this icon manifested upon the physical plane as an embodiment of eternal victory. And yet, despite his godlike might, Zervan was captured. He has languished in his Allagan-made prison now for 5,000 years, his primal desire for justice swelling in magnitude with each passing millennium. Through an unlikely alliance with the Sixth Imperial Legion, you and your companions were able to prevent a catastrophic awakening orchestrated by the demon's thralls. But your work is not yet finished. Honor the sacrifice of Regula Van Hydrus and remove the threat of Zervan from this world once and for all. Instant pop! Let's go, baby! Okay, come on, DPS. Don't fuck with me on this one.
There's been enough sacrifice for one day. We must take the chance we've been given and defeat Zervan now!
Okay. There he is. Don't forget to skip Soar? Yeah, for sure. Initiating final disengagement sequence. All non-combat personnel are advised to evacuate. Mine age of slumber is at an end. 1,000 suns may set. But the insult of mine imprisonment hath been etched unto mine eternal memory. I am come to mete out justice, to bestow the blessings of victory unending. I am Zervan. He who standeth above all other gods. He who shall bring slaughter and ruin. Disengagement sequence complete. Subject Zervan is released from containment. Oh fuck. I'm dead.
Good and evil, the war eternal!
Okay, so this part is voiced. I couldn't remember. The fires of anger roar and howl.
Ah! My doubt is fled.
We didn't skip Soar. Sorry. Everybody come to me! Help! Before I explode! Oh, I gotta get out of the way. I gotta get out of the wave cannon. This guy's cool. I like his design a lot. By sorrow's chill doth all become ice. Oh god, that's ice. Nobody likes ice.
I shall rise above all.
Oh.
Bear witness to my will.
Excavated Thew. Execrated Will. Oh yeah, we should probably kill this guy first. Oh my god. Stop taking damage. Cut that shit out. Thousand Suns may set. This guy doesn't even know that's only like 3,000 years. Well, he's only been in prison for that much long, or not that, maybe like 5,000 years. So, frozen in time, mine armor of flame, unto eternity's end, my righteous reign. Sorry, I couldn't read that.
Bow to mine infallible judgment.
Not 3,003. Oh. Okay, yeah, that's not very much then. Bam! Fucking cool. What manner of mortals withstand such punishment? By battle, then, shall your fate be decided.
Suffer in endless torment.
Graven in flesh. The brand is awoken. Suffer in endless torment. I need to stand in place. I can't remember though. I was right. I always remember that Zervan is like one of the weird ones where like you actually want to do the same element as you've got instead of the opposite, which is what you normally do. Sure hope everybody moves out of the way of that wave cannon. That guy didn't move. Bye, Zervan. Why would you run that way? I don't have any illustrates.
Suffer in endless torment.
But I don't wanna.
If such is my fate.
Zervan's cool. Yippee! We did it! Incredible as always, Ruja. Hopefully that will be the last our world sees of the likes of Zervan. Every one of his thralls has been slain as far as we can determine. Our victory over the warring triad is complete. An impossible feat had we not been blessed with your cooperation. Let us not forget the efforts of Regula Van Hydrus and his men. Without their noble sacrifice, the demon would have awoken far sooner, and possessed of far more formidable energies. The bodies of the fallen now accompany the survivors on the return journey to Garlemald. 'Tis known that the Imperials recognize no god, yet they would honor the dead in their own fashion. When next we meet, our fleeting alliance will surely be forgotten. It was an interesting exchange, nonetheless. They spoke of their present ruler as a man who values self-sufficiency. Varys befriended Regula in their youth, it seems, and was highly impressed by his martial prowess. 'Tis common knowledge that Regula's rise to Legatus was in great part advocated by the Emperor himself. Regula freely admitted his shortcomings when it came to politics, and it was Varys' unconditional support that served to win his undying fealty. One does not expect such tales of comradeship to lurk beneath the Empire's iron exterior. Contrary to all expectations, the man died a hero. Witnessing the way you all leapt into danger without hesitation, it would seem that I am surrounded by heroes. And yet, my own actions were aught but heroic. I have not the qualities nor the character to stand at the Warrior of Light's side. What a curious thing to say. Are you truly concerned that you do not measure up to some arbitrary requirement? If you knew of the path that I walked to reach this place, then you would understand why I doubt myself so. Return with me to the Rising Stones, and I shall tell you of it. Okay. I wish Van Idris' story was told to us a little bit less exposition-y than that. You know? It's just another one of those things where, like, I feel like this quest line should maybe have been longer. You know? Like, if you didn't change anything about, like, the events, or, like, the major events that happened, I feel like there should have just been more of it. Because there's a lot of lore to come out of this. I mean, this is really the first time you really hear anything about the people that live in Mericidia, other than that the dragons used to live there. And I don't feel like it feels like there's supposed to be a plot line with the demiurges, with Sophia, but they show up at the start there, and then they show up in the fight, and then you just kill them, and there's no story behind them. It's just like, I don't know, who are these people? Who cares? Doesn't matter. They're dead. Fuck them. With your victory over Zervan, the Warring Triad is finally defeated. I am afraid, however, that mine own efforts have often been more hindrance than help, and you and your fellow Scions deserve to hear the reasons behind my actions. Oh yeah, didn't you tell us that, like, alternate realities existed, or whatever? What's the deal with that? I promise to tell you of my journey, of who I am, of where I am from. The truth is, I am not of this world. Sorry, 1 second. Just checking something. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was born of a different star. A child whose power of the echo was too feeble to save his dying world. A child who, unlike you, never became a warrior of light. When all I knew stood on the brink of destruction, I was yet half grown. Had I been born but a handful of years earlier, history may have written a different tale. The seeds of other heroes that had yet to fully sprout may not have withered and perished. The star I failed to save is known to you now as the Void. Though Bruja knew not that I spoke of my homeland, I have explained to her that before the cause of its ruin, a magic was devised to contain a defeated primal's might within a stone known as Orosite. The energies which bled from this imperfect vessel gradually corrupted the champions who wielded it. These heroes became slaves to an insatiable hunger for ether, eventually transforming into hideous fiends, and none who clung to the faint traces of the light were strong enough to oppose them. The demons next turned upon each other in a war which drained the land's ether in even greater amounts, until one day the star was suddenly swallowed in a flood of darkness, an entire world unmade in an instant. The void scent you encounter here in this realm are the twisted remnants of once mortal beings who gnaw on what motes of life force remain. As I lay dying, beaten and broken in my failed last stand, 'twas my present master who found my tormented spirit and bore me away to the rift betwixt world. 'Twas he who first introduced me to Urianger. At my mentor's feet did I learn of the nature of reality, of the existence of mirrored worlds and the eternal struggle between dark and light. Sudden and overwhelming superiority for either side will shatter the balance, and the world in question will be returned to the void by a calamity beyond imagining. As the self-appointed custodian of this balance, my master warned me that the source, the first of all worlds, slips perilously close to oblivion.
In what spirit did this master proffer such a warning? A benevolent gesture or veiled threat? To these questions and more do I mean to coax forth answers. Yet no matter his intention, that Heidelin doth teeter on a knife's edge is an undeniable truth. Knowing this, what choice was given to you to make?
I chose to join my master and act as his instrument on this star. The tragedy that befell my home cannot be repeated. I will see this world saved. And yet, I hesitated at the most crucial of moments. What right have I to stand alongside a true warrior of light?
In thine own words thou wert called before thy time, and I offer that thou dwellest overmuch on the question of what maketh the hero. The search for the answer leaveth thee paralyzed by doubt. Heed me, Master Unukalhai. Thou needest not believest thyself a hero to perform great deeds. 'Tis the deed itself which earneth thee the hero's mantle.
Aye, the ideals you hold can be less important than having the faith to act upon them. Regulus' loyalty to the Emperor guided his actions until the last, and though we did not see eye to eye on many things, his final deeds can be called not less than heroic. Personally, I find that faith in my companions allows me to act unhindered by uncertainty. I know that should I ever falter, Ruja and the others will be there to support me, or steer me back onto the right path if needed. I see. In the days leading up to my world's destruction, I was entirely alone. I never knew what it was to have such comrades. I cannot imagine the loneliness you must have felt. But look around you now, Unukalhai. You're not alone anymore. Welcome to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I will fulfill my promise to save this world, and when I stumble, I shall be glad to have your hands there to steady me. My apologies. This is difficult for me. For so long have I spoken from behind a mask. I'll put it on so my character model doesn't change when you're in the overworld.
We should all feel comfortable speaking without such concealments, says a guy who's been wearing goggles and a hood for the entire time we've known him. Oh, yes, thank you, Y'shtola.
I should hope you appreciate the irony of that statement, Urianger.
What was she talking about?
Anyway. Bye-bye. Okay. Pleasure as always, Ruja. What would you ask of me? Tell me about yourself. I have already revealed to you the secrets of my origin, and in the spirit of the friendship you've offered me, I shall endeavor to remain open and truthful from this point onward.
We must have trust between us. Pray permit me to remove my mask while we speak thus in private. As I once explained, I was not born of this world. My home fell to oblivion long ago and is now known as the Void. Champions who fought upon that ruined star were corrupted by the captured essence of primals, twisted into incarnations of darkness. Those of the light who stood to oppose them were but suckling babes in comparison. I am told there were more like me, young and touched by the echo, but the darkness consumed all ere we learned of each other's existence. Even the servants of the power which annihilated my world could find naught to salvage in the emptiness which remained. Such a tale you've heard from me before, but I feel the story bears repeating. Think of it as a mantra, a warning that you might avoid the same terrible fate. 'Tis fortunate, however, that this world is bountiful, where mine own was found wanting. You have become the hero that I never was, strengthened and steadied by your companions and the scions of the Seventh Dawn. And now, more than ever, I am certain that my journey to your star was inevitable, that we are all drawn in and drawn onwards by the brilliance of your unwavering light. Oh wait, tell me about primals. Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Leviathan, Ramu, Shiva, born of the land and returned to it. 6 primals, 1 for every elemental aspect. So where does that leave Ravana and Bismarck? Earth and fire, water and wind. Your latest foes are aspected to not 1 element, but 2, which explains why Ravana was able to beat the shit out of Shiva so easily. Because he's literally twice as strong as a normal primal is due to his aspects. Rather simple but noteworthy distinction, for it allows them to feed upon ether that much more efficiently. But, like their predecessors, there is but one recourse. It must be felled, and you are the one to whom we must turn to see it done. However, unlike before, I do not think this is the work of those Asians. It has ever been said that Eorzea is a land embraced by gods, for weal or for woe, I should wonder. Tell me about icons. Ah yes, the beings the Allagans dubbed icons. How much we have yet to learn. Let's see. Fortunate we are, then, that you... Wait, yeah, okay, that's the same line as before. So let's read the last bit of the Warring Triad here. Zervin, Chapter 4. The followers of Zervin were broken from their slumber, likely the doing of Sophia's worshippers, and immediately began attempting to rouse their master in the fullness of his power. We found ourselves in an unexpected alliance with the forces of the 6th Legion and rushed inside the research facility to put a stop to the Thrall's ambitions. Although we succeeded in this initial endeavor, the effort cost the lives of many Imperial soldiers, including that of Regula Van Hydrus himself. Seizing the opportunity, their sacrifice brought for us the Warrior of Light led a company of Echo-blessed champions against the half-woken demon and cast down the final pillar of the Warring Triad. Upon discovering the flaws apparent in the Allagans' technology, the Legatus chose to abandon its acquisition and looked to recruit the aid of the Scions with nary a moment's hesitation. His was a decision motivated not by glory, but by loyalty to his Emperor. After all, he strove to enforce the will of his childhood friend and ensure that the primal threat hanging over this star would be eradicated. Over the course of our quest to eliminate the Warring Triad, the meddling of the Garlean Empire has been our greatest obstacle. That an officer so lofty within its ranks should recognize the danger and make such a rational choice is a significant development in our war against the primals. Ere the star upon which I was born became the Void, the champions who lived upon it chose to embrace self-destruction rather than cease their eternal infernal conflict. They became lost within their own ambitions, strangling the life from one another even as the flood of darkness swallowed them whole. Here on Hydaelyn, the power of light is not so feeble. This world will survive while balance holds, but we must take care that the scales do not swing too far in light's favor. As we fight on the side of light, we must trust that our companions will steer us away from the lure of extremity and help guide us along the narrow path to salvation. It is the actions of men such as Regula Van Hydrus that give me hope that the future of this star is not beyond redemption. So, I just want to throw this out here. Let me double check something really quick here. Let's see. When was this added? Okay, so this particular quest was added in 3.5, patch 3.5, which is the last patch, or second to last patch of Heavensward. Last patch being patch 3.55, but I mean, that's just like, you know, the last bit of wrapping up of the story and whatever the other bit is. So, based on that positioning, the particular reveal that Unukalhai gives here is not as crazy, because of events that will become obvious as we, you know, do stuff. However, that being said, I think, personally speaking, that it is truly fucking insane that this questline is not mandatory for MSQ progression. Because it is so intrinsically and importantly tied to the mythos of this world and to events in Endwalker that it's fucking insane that you don't do anything with this. Like, without revealing too much about what happens in future expansions, doing this quest and also a series of quests that come about in Shadowbringers gives you optional dialogue in Endwalker. Now, I love optional dialogue. I think optional dialogue is great. However, optional dialogue is also an indication that is, hey, not everybody has done this side content, you know? Not everybody has done this, so this is a little treat for those who did these things. However, I am in favor of optional dialogue when it is, like, say, for example, leveling another job, and you see, like, the White Mage teacher show up, and they say, hey, you've done the White Mage quests. Remember when you did the White Mage quests? And that's it. Not when it is something so fucking crazily important and tied to the main story at the time. That should not be optional dialogue. You should be forced to fucking do this. Just like Crystal Tower, where you have to do Crystal Tower in order to do MSQ now, you should be fucking forced to do this. I don't give a shit. For a long time, I have believed that people who... so I don't have a problem with, like, story skipping, necessarily. Provided that you have, like, played the game already and you just, like, want to level an alt, for example. You can skip story all you want. But if this is your first time playing it, don't fucking skip any story. Don't do that. Just don't do that. The whole point of this game is that it has story. Doing that is ridiculous, I think. Anyway, I think that, all story skippers should be held at gunpoint until they do every bit of side content in the game, forever. And I will no longer be accepting criticisms on that opinion. Oh, what's that? You don't want to do Warring Triad? I don't fucking care. Die. Quit the game then. Fuck you. If you buy a story skip, whatever. It should skip these quests too. These should all be included in MSQ. You should have to do it! Not only because it means that more people just have it unlocked, which means there's, like, more people doing it means that it's available in roulettes, which means new people doing it will have more of a chance of getting in. Because that's another problem, is when story content becomes older and less people are queuing for it, it means that people just aren't able to get in as often. So yeah, I think that you should be forced, before you are allowed to leave Heavensward, before you are allowed to leave any expansion, you should be forced to do all of the side content. And I should also clarify, what I mean by all of the side content is anything that has MSQ relevance, eventually. Meaning, every Alliance raid, you should have to do that. Every EX dungeon, you should have to do that. Every, like, trial quest series, like the Warring Triad, you should have to do that. Like, there's no excuse. Just fucking do it. I have made my opinions on people speeding through this game as fast as possible perfectly clear before, but I'm gonna do it again just to be sure. This game is at its best when you take your fucking time with it, man.
chill out. Just chill. Hang out and watch cutscenes. Read things. Learn about the lore. Alright? You know? There's a lot of stuff in this game. A lot of stuff. And sure, they're adding new stuff all the time. You're never gonna fucking run out of stuff to do. Even the people who have been playing this game from the start, like, I would say that there are very few people who have done every single thing in this game. And if you're starting it for the first time, I think catching up is a trick. You shouldn't try and catch up. You should just play it at your own pace. Certainly, there's like a desire to want to be with people playing current stuff as it comes out. I understand that. I love doing that with my friends. It's one of my favorite things to do in this game. I love experiencing new stuff with people. But you will catch up. It's impossible to not catch up. The only way you wouldn't catch up is if you're fucking me doing this stream series, and nobody is doing that except me because I'm an idiot. You can take, like, I sat there and did nothing in this game for a very long time. I started playing this game back in Stormblood. And then I quit playing the game until Shadowbringers came out. And then I started playing Shadowbringers when the first Nier raid came out. And I was caught up to the story on multiple characters, even, by the time that the second Nier raid came out. That's how much time there is between patches. And I had done just about everything, too. Certainly, there were some things that I had kind of pushed off to the side, but, like, you can do a lot in this game in the time that it takes for patches to happen. Sadly, there's a new form of player that's now only on the free sub, and it's just RPing. They don't give a fuck about this lore. Hold them at gunpoint. I don't care. Alright, let's unlock these EXs, and then I'll share my final thoughts on the Warring Triad quests, other than just what my big fucking rant that I just went on. A fiendish likeness. Unakalhai has a gift for you. I have something for you, Warrior of Light. During our expedition to Bene Sephiroth, I came across a certain relic, and I believe it would be best put to use in your hands. It is an elegant device of some kind, of the kind used to store information. In this case, the record of the furious conflict that took place on the shores of Mericidia between the Icon Sephiroth and the forces of Alag. Should you present this tombstone to the verification node outside Triad control, the node systems will analyze the various aspects of the conflict and create for you a false icon against which you can train. Consider it a sort of mock battle that presumes a Sephiroth who has broken free of his shackles. If I understand its workings correctly, the node should also be capable of manifesting a far stronger incarnation of the icon. This would mimic the catastrophic consequences were Sephiroth to ever absorb an additional source of energy, say, by defeating another member of the Warring Triad. A compelling challenge for a warrior of your ability, yes? You need not possess Mistress Kryle's knowledge of Allagan technology to begin this particular battle. Simply present the tombstone to the node on the flagship, and then follow the orb's instructions. I hope the experience brings you valuable insight, Warrior of Light. We'll pick up the other ones as well. A deific simulacrum. Unakalhai has a gift for you. I would like you to have this, Warrior of Light. It is an Allagan tombstone similar to the one we recovered after your victory over Sephiroth. The record contains within described the goddess at the height of her power and will enable Azazel's reality augmentation technologies to generate an idealized simulacrum of Sophia against whom to test your skills. From what I have been able to determine, this formed a part of a greater trial intended to test Alag's elite warriors. Quite how it will compare to the challenge presented by the Fiend's tombstone, I cannot say. I suppose there's only one way to be certain. Visit the verification node on Azazel and witness firsthand what awaited the champions of Eld. A demonic duplicate. Unakalhai has something of interest for you. Whilst we were examining the controls for Zervan's shackles, I found a tombstone that may be of interest to you, Ruja. Would you like to take a look? The information contained within this device appears to have been used to generate a simulated battle of grueling difficulty. Challengers would be pit against a simulacrum of Zervan, the power of which had been enhanced by the icon's highest conceivable magnitude, described as the final trial for the most elite of Alag's warriors, intended to distinguish the truly exceptional among them. I have witnessed no champion more exceptional than the Warrior of Light. Are you curious to see just how powerful Zervan may have been? I urge you to visit the verification node and undertake this ultimate test of the Allagan elite. Let's also just double check these. As I explained, simply present the tombstone to the verification node at the flagship, follow the node's instructions, and you'll soon find yourself facing the towering Sephiroth once more. Have you the strength to equal Alag's greatest heroes? You need only visit Aziz's Law to find out. If you would test your mettle against the demon's unfettered might, then you need only present the tombstone to the verification node on the Aziz's Law flagship. Yep. Let's do that. Reading up on something really quick here. Alright, there we go. Awaiting verification systems. Combat simulation request acknowledged. Awaiting tombstone data. Allagan Tombstone of Theology. Though it appears to be not more than simple stone, Garland Ironworks engineers insist it contains reams of invaluable information gathered by the lost Allagan Empire on the subject of the fiend Sephiroth. Data processed. Adversary warring triad Sephiroth. Defining simulation parameters. Warning. Threat level. Extreme. The Empire assumes no responsibility for death or injury resulting from participation in combat simulations. Activating reality augmentation. Initiating combat simulation. The Empire thanks you for volunteering to participate in this study. Post-mortem data will be used to improve the survival rates of subsequent participants. Your sacrifice is appreciated. Just like real life. Awaiting verification systems. Enlistment programs request acknowledge. Awaiting tombstone data. Though it appears to be not more than simple stone, Unakalhai insists it contains reams of invaluable information gathered by the lost Allagan Empire on the subject of the goddess Sophia. You're gonna die, but thanks for the data. Yeah, it kinda hits harder in modern day, doesn't it? Data processed. Adversary. Warring triad Sophia. Threat level. Extreme. Successful applicants will progress to elite squad induction. Families of unsuccessful applicants will receive twice standard death benefits. Before initiating this program, elite squad applicants must agree to extensive physical modification. Data corrupted. Unable to verify input. Applicant agreement accepted. Activating reality augmentation. Initiating enlistment program. The Empire thanks you for your service. Post-mortem data will be used to improve the survival rates of subsequent applicants. Your sacrifice is appreciated. Isn't this a much nicer way to do extremes than fucking refighting them and going, oh, they resummoned them again. Looks like we're gonna have to put up the exact same situations that you fought Bismarck in. Isn't it crazy how we're able to just fucking do that? And we were able to do it again for Leviathan? Isn't that crazy?
Awaiting verification systems. Elimination trial request acknowledged. Awaiting tombstone data. Allegan Tombstone of Iconology. Though it appears to be not more than a simple stone, Unakalhai insists that it contains reams of valuable information gathered by the lost Allegan Empire on the subject of the demon Zervan. Data processed. Adversary Warring Triad Zervan. Threat level. Extreme. This is the final qualifying test for surviving Elite Squad enlistees. Participation is only permitted to candidates who agree to unrestricted biopsy procedures following the trial. Specifically, enlistees who successfully complete the program will be certified as genetically superior and must submit to cell harvesting for subsequent cloning initiatives. Elimination trial survival rates are currently calculated at 1.9%. Activating reality augmentation. Initiating elimination trial. The Empire thanks you for your service. Post-mortem data will be used to improve survival rates of subsequent candidates, yada yada, blah blah blah. We did it. Cool. Let's go ahead and read the extreme descriptions for these, and then I will share my thoughts. S1T7. Preserved upon the icon Allegan Tombstone you received from Unakalhai was an extraordinary history. A detailed record of the battles fought between the Icon Sephiroth and the armies of Alag. After feeding the account of this epic conflict into Azislah's verification systems, you've succeeded in activating what the node describes as a combat simulation. Can the enigmatic technology of the ancient empire truly manifest an enhanced simulacrum of the formidable fiend? Can this artificial incarnation truly surpass the threat posed by the original Sephiroth? There is but one way to know for certain. I'm also going to just return out of here real quick so I don't have to listen to Azizlah fucking ambience. Cool. And now I'm in France. Much better. P1T6. A new tombstone discovered by Unakalhai contains records of ancient battles with Sophia, specialized data with which it will enable Azislah's miraculous reality augmentation technologies to generate a simulacrum of the goddess, the height of her power. Have you the strength to overcome this challenge, as the champions of Alag once did? Enter the combat simulation and test the limits of your might. And Z1T9, you hold a tombstone recovered from the research facility of Azizlah. According to Unakalhai, this recording device contains the data required to generate a simulacrum of Zervan at the peak of his power. Original, unmitigated power, the final trial of a program designed to test the mightiest of Alag's elite champions. You would subject yourself to the dangers of this ancient challenge. You need only approach the verification node and stretch forth your hand. Cool, okay. Let's talk about this quest. Honestly, I think I've kind of mostly shared my thoughts, such as they are on this pretty well already. I think that, the fact that there's so much of it, of the things that you learn is given to you through pure, exposition is unfortunate. It feels like a remnant of a Realm Reborn style storytelling where it's tell and not a lot of show, which I usually don't have a lot of problems with, but in this case it feels much less like a deliberate choice and more just like we have so much information we need to get out and not enough time to do it because the quest line is so short. Additionally, knowing now what I do about when the particular information that Unakalhai gives us is given to us, specifically the quest that he does where he talks about his world, the last quest that we did last time. Not this one, where he talks about it in full detail, was originally added to the game in patch 3.4, which is also when, a significant thing happens with that we'll get to eventually. But there is another thing that I would like to bring up, because I can't quite remember some specific details about this, because the character that it involves is just so fucking forgettable that I can't be blamed for forgetting. You guys remember Iggiorm? Remember her? That Ascian who showed up once, and then combined with La Brea, and then instantly fucking bit the dust? Well, The Encyclopedia Eorzea, as well as, I'm fairly certain, future expansions, will reveal that it was Igiorm's job to cause the calamity on the 13th that would let it perform the rejoining, which we'll get more details on later, but to make a long story short, it is Igiorm's fault that the Void is the way it is. And another important thing to remember is that this is a failure. She failed. Because the Void, because of the way that it is, could not rejoin the Source like it was supposed to do. So Igiorm she failed. Despite the fact that she succeeded, she failed. And I don't know, I feel like the fact that it's never mentioned a single time how Unakalhai feels about working with the group of people that caused his world to blow up. I feel like it's kind of weird that that's never particularly mentioned or remarked upon. And, I mean, probably a lot of that is because, once again, that information is primarily listed in the Encyclopedia Eorzea, and I have always said my thoughts on supplementary material is, if it was that important, it should have been in the fucking game earlier, dog. So yeah, the Warring Triad is so fucking important to do for story context reasons, and the fact that it isn't mandatory is a crime, quite frankly. Everybody should be forced to do this forever. Does he even know that they are the reason his home is like that? That's another good question. Once again, we don't spend enough time with Unakalhai as a character to do that. Despite the fact that he has been inducted into the Scions of the Seventh Dawn now. He's a member. He's with us. But he never shows up anymore. God damn it. Oh, son of a bitch. One sec. Sorry, Aurier, I have instigated a new rule in my apartment where Aurier is not allowed to sit on top of my computer anymore. Because one time she turned the power off by stepping on the power button, and lost me a ton of work in my editing. And anytime she jumps up there, I, like, swat her off. But she keeps doing it, and she hasn't figured it out yet. And and I feel justified for doing it because as she jumped up there, she knocked one of my hard drives off the top of my computer. So I don't feel bad about it if she's going to keep causing problems. Need one of those protection caps for your power button? Yeah, probably. But I also shouldn't need one if she just doesn't go up there. Just, you know. Yeah, I forgot he was a Scion. So did the writers, believe it or not. Anyway, that's the end of the Warring Triad for today, and forever, in fact. We'll never hear about them again. We'll hear from Unakalhai again, but it'll be in like 2 expansions time, so don't worry about that too much. Anyway, with that fucking genuinely, like, earth-shattering level of like, plot reveal happening in a side story, it's time for me to call it a day, folks. This has been fun. I'm glad I was able to join you all for this, and you were all able to join me. And thank God I was able to get this done before I left for my little trip this week. Because once again, as a reminder, I will not be streaming this week. I will be resuming again next week. I guess we'll probably, excuse me, we'll do more Sly the week after that. And then, probably MSQ, maybe? We'll see. I might double check our relic progress and see if there's anything that needs to be done there. Need to plan that out a little bit better, I think. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, folks. Thank you all very much for joining me today. I promise the Tribe Quest videos are almost done. I have started editing the Moogle one. I think I might have mentioned that already.
And that will be, as soon as those are uploaded, those will be going up onto the channel one at a time, I would say. So keep an eye out for those. But yeah, that's it for me.